Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Taisho Alice, and we are just going to continue where we left off, which is in Snow White's route. Oh my god, shocking. I say this every time we start a game. We're like, we're still in the same route we were in the last time, like you forgot. I don't know why. Like, I didn't forget. And I assume you didn't forget. And like, I forget a lot of things, so I have to remind myself and remind you, even though you didn't forget, but I know I did. But like, I remind us both about facts that we already know. Anyway, mirror, mirror on the wall, show me what I want to see. Tell me what I want to hear. You know what I like about this is that always aside from the purple and white kind of border or the border changing, like, it's always a different color depending on her boyfriend, I think. But like, it's different, so you know when you're in his perspective, but for Snow White, he's always got the mirror, mirror on the wall thing, and you're like, oh, okay. You're like, we're definitely going into one of his parts now. Never have to question it. Oh, there goes my fucking computer, thinking we're not plugged in, and now we're plugged in, and like, now we're, oh my fucking god. Because I touched the power cord. And I wonder if that's why my computer beeps like an asshole. It's like, oh my god, there's something wrong with your power cord. Well, you know what? That's an Asus problem, because, like, thing's a pain in the ass. Anyway. Sorry about that. I'm sure, you saw the little pop-up thing. I don't know if the whole screen went black for you, but hopefully this records. You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna check it. Okay, we fine. You didn't see the whole screen. My whole screen goes black when my computer unplugs itself back in and does its stupid shit. Like, everything goes black. You only saw the little pop-ups. It's fine. And I just wanted to make sure that even though my thing says it's recording, that it's actually recording, and like, my thing didn't fuck it up. So we're fine. Never mind. So, that you get an extra minute then, because whatever. Or not. Depends. And that day found me more irritable than usual. It's the kind of day I'm having. Oh my god, and I clicked. Why isn't it clicking? Oh my god. And the reason was extremely obvious. It was all her fault. Porcelain skin, pure white dress, soft, thick, light brown hair, and those glittering two-toned eyes. She was so beautiful. I often wonder if maybe I was dreaming. Also, the annoying thing is now my guide is usually way over on the right to my screen, and now it's behind the screen because when my computer turned itself off, it like moved. So fuck my life. Anyway, she was like a fairy tale princess. We can still read it. We just have to read like one line at a time at the top. But after talking to her, I realized her princess qualities were only skin deep. She was far more aggressive than her dainty appearance suggested, and a far cry from ladylike, if I was being honest. This is why you don't judge a book by its cover, Snow White. You judged us by our looks instead of who we really are, which is kind of brisk and obnoxious and like, fun. Kind of funny. A little obnoxious, but funny. Hey, don't judge me by my looks, people. Judge me by how obnoxious I am. Then you don't like me, instead of being like, I think I'm gonna like you. You're lying. It hurts my feelings. Anyway. She had a few cute mannerisms, but she had no air of elegance about her. I don't either. And her speech patterns were eclectic. For someone like me, who had always dreamed of finding my princess, I couldn't help but think she'd be perfect if she kept her mouth shut. Hey, yeah, and also not the kind of guy I want to date. Bitch, I don't ever shut up. What are you doing? You can try to touch my pillow. Don't you try touching my pillow. It's my pillow. You're not touching my pillow. What? You can touch my pillow. It's because I love you. But it's so mean. Poor little bird. What? I try, little bird. We try to love you, but you won't love us. You're a nasty bird. Well, you know what? It's just because you pooped on my couch. I don't want to poop on my couch. I was trying to clean it up. But you get within 5 feet of him and he screams at you like that. You can come over here. Just stop pooping on the couch and learn to be nice. Such a nasty little bird. But obviously she was not under no obligation to meet my arbitrary standards, so I didn't hold it against her. Oh, nice. While I was surprised to discover what sort of personality she had, I still enjoyed watching her eyes darting to and fro, almost like I was looking through a kaleidoscope. And yet, this is all your fault, Huntsman. Say what? Where did that come from? When I complimented her, she got even weirder. All I said was that she looked like a princess and her eyes were pretty, but then she blushed beet red and started babbling nonsense. I thought she liked those compliments. At the time, she seemed to turn into a ditz, for lack of a better word. Sure, she made silly comments all the time, but normally I could tell that she was intentionally playing the fool. Ryoshi's only response was to roll his eyes at me, but I didn't understand why. What? He pressed a hand to his mouth. I felt like he was laughing at me, so I kicked his unguarded shin. Wow. His unguarded shin. Ow! The hell? She calls me Prince. And when I asked her why, she happily told me the story of a cold-hearted boy who was white as snow. His physical appearance was pure and beautiful and fragile, like a snowflake, and at night he would go to the lake where he would talk to her brother. He spoke bluntly, but he was actually warm-hearted, and he was possessed of keen insight, or so she said. I feel like the huntsman... Is the huntsman the wizard? Because I feel like the huntsman is playing the wizard right now. You know what's weird? They kind of have the same hair. I don't have, like, a picture, like, up right now. But, like, don't they have the same, like, not, like, the same style? Like, doesn't the wizard have, like, a little floofy in his face? I'm just saying. Maybe I'm imagining things. Am I imagining things? Because, like, it's weird. Because, like, in the last part, it was like, oh, yeah, right. In the very beginning, she saw Huntsman, right? Or Ryoshi. Because calling him Huntsman is weird. But anyway, she saw him. And then was like, all of a sudden, now there's all of her other brothers. And I'm like, wait, so he's not our brother this time? And now he's here, but he told us the story. And then she says, my brother. And then she's like, wait. Huh? And then she's confused. So it's like, there's a weird thing going on, which we'll figure out. And I'm just not smart enough to figure it out right now. But, like, he's acting like the wizard right about now. You know? Like, he's like, I'm here to make sure you guys fall for each other. And I did some weird shit. Like, I'm just... Like, the wizard's always there to keep us on track, you know? But, like, now Ryoshi's kind of here to keep us on... And, like... But then why would there be a route for him in the fan disc if he was the wizard? Like, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, now all of a sudden my brain's like, wait, do you guys look a little too similar and have, like, similar hair structure even though it's a different color? Because, like, now I'm concerned. Huh. Anyway. Sounds like someone I know. Her innocent smile came to mind. She called me Prince, even though I didn't deserve it. What, you don't like it? She idealizes me, just like my mother does. Idealizes me. They all want me to be some perfect prince, but I'm not. And I didn't want them to get mad at me for not being what they wanted. Oh, it's okay, we'll love you for who you are. Even though you're being rude about who I am. Because I'm not your perfect, idealized princess. I'm just saying. The next morning, I was making breakfast for everyone, as usual. I was making omelets, and the frying pan was full of sizzling eggs. But for some reason, my mind was all fuzzy, and my body was lethargic. Last night... Your eyes are a beautiful mix of red and blue. What? Who are you talking to? His compliment caught me off guard, and I started to panic. Ew. In contrast, my prince remained perfectly composed. Huh? Oh, Hugh! Who's that? Looking back, I acted like such a blathering idiot. But at the time, I swear to you, I just couldn't handle it. I wouldn't be able to either. Yeah, I'd probably laugh like that. That'd be... Okay, I'm gonna die alone. He narrowed his eyes at me in annoyance, and after a moment of thought, he continued. Your pretty dirty suit. I don't really remember what happened after that. Suddenly I was at my house again. One minute I was changing into my PJs, and then I was in bed, and then I woke up. It was all so fuzzy. None of it felt real. Was it all just a dream? Or was I still dreaming now? Hey. Huh? Hey, Spacey. I don't know which one brother it is. Phew. Ouch! Out of nowhere, I felt someone smack me upside the head. I was gonna guess Cinderella with the smack upside the head, but... Snap out of it, Spacey! Huh? Hearing my name, I blinked. The food's burning! Cinderella pointed at the frying pan. That's when I realized that my eggs were burnt black. No! I hastily carried the frying pan to the sink and extinguished the fire. Great, now I've done it. Thanks to my careless mistake, our breakfast was ruined. I'm sorry, I'll remake it and I'll toss this out later. As I spoke, I dumped the burnt remains into a separate plate. Quit pushing yourself so hard. You're gonna work yourself sick. Quit pushing yourself so hard. You're gonna make yourself sick. You're gonna work yourself sick. I still can't. Whatever. You know what? He snagged a piece of burnt omelet and popped it into his mouth. Ugh, gross. Tastes like dirt. Grimacing, he handed the plate to Kaguya next to him. You reckon so? You reckon so? Well, sometimes burnt food is nice in its own way. Like a slightly burnt, like, bagel. Like, not totally burnt, like nice and crispy, but like the top part, you know? Like the inner part, you know? The pieces that go together. Is like a little burnty. And with cream cheese, it tastes really good. Not like fully burnt, but like just that top layer is burnt. It's got a nice little burnt coating. Tastes really good with cream cheese. Struggling to maintain a smile, Kaguya ate a piece as well. Then he passed the plate to Red Riding Hood. Nom. He must have found it truly abhorrent, because he clutched his mouth and passed the plate to Gretel in total silence. And as for Gretel, our resident gourmand, he dumped the whole plate in the trash without taking a single bite. Look, he's the creepy one, but he's also the smartest one. The rest of them were trying to be nice, but like, look, we appreciate your honesty. Dude, come on. The only burnt flavor I enjoy is caramel. He had a salient point? What's a salient point? Anyway. And that being said, it's not often Sister slips up in the kitchen. And this might even be the first time. Yeah, probably. As I faltered, Cinderella gave me a funny look. Spacey, you're acting really weird. You okay? Don't be rude! Yeah, I'm okay. As I spoke, I retrieved some new eggs from the fridge. But they slipped out of my hands, fell to the floor, and shattered. I'm sorry. I apologized in a tiny voice as I screwed up yet again. They're all like silent. When I noticed the odd silence, I looked up to find them all staring at me in horror. I'm scared now. Sister's gone mad. You alright, Puppet? Got a tummy ache. Guys? I'm still human, you know! No, I'm fine. I decided to clarify things before they started thinking something was actually wrong with me. Unfortunately, at times like this, my brothers could be weirdly nice. Seriously, don't push yourself. Go back to your room and get some rest. We'll handle everything from here. I can carry you upstairs if you'd like. In that case, I reckon I'll make some nice porridge for you. Like so. No, it's okay. I'm fit as a fiddle. A fiddle on steroids. Just raring to go over here. I jumped up to my feet and swung my arms around to flaunt my excess energy. And a split second later, we slipped on the eggs, didn't we? I accidentally smacked the bowl on the counter, sending it flying to the floor with a clang. Well, okay, that too. Cinderella looks kind of devious. This is your idea of fine. Look at Kaguya, he's so beautiful. No. Slumping my shoulders, I admitted defeat. Red, do you know what's going on with her? Well... I shot him a look that said, "Don't you dare tell them!" If they found out I was all out of whack because my Prince Charming called me beautiful, they'd never let me live it down. Then, for some reason, Red's expression stiffened. No, I can't say I do. He averted his eyes. You're looking a bit terrifying, Puppet. Oh, God, no kidding. Kaguya and Gretel were both staring at me in alarm, so I quickly lowered my gaze to the floor. Well, whatever. We can handle the cafe without you, so take the day off. Cinderella sighed. What? But... I tried to protest, but he cut me off. You really think you're in any condition to work right now? He gave me a stern look. Sure I am! I clapped my hands to my cheeks to hype myself up. My brothers all exchanged a glance. Really, you've earned a break, puppet. You work too much in general. Kaguya's right. Hell, Cinderella's practically a slave driver, and even he wants you to take the day off. Yes, I think it'd be healthy for you to take some time to collect yourself. None of them were on my side. And there you have it. So what'll it be? Okay, fine. I guess I'll take you up on it. And so, I found myself with an unexpected day off. Oh my gosh, look, they're so cute! Yeah, for sure, definitely cute. Right? Oh, they're so cute! I'm dying! I want one so bad. And then I'll buy you one. Cute girls deserve cute things. You mean it? You're the best! I love you! Side-eyeing the lovey-dovey couple, I let out a sigh. And a vomit. I love you. If I had the energy, I'd love to be squealing over cute stuff right now. Unfortunately, my life was far from cute at the moment. Instead of looking through a display window at plush toys, I was looking at a grocery cart full of produce. Alone, no boyfriend in sight. If only my prince were here. His handsome face came to mind. Oh my gosh, look! They're so cheap! Yeah, for sure. Definitely cheap. Right? They're so cheap! I'm dying! I want one so bad. And then buy one. Point taken. My fantasy was so utterly unromantic, I couldn't help but cackle to myself. Well, at least I've managed to get everything on my list. Pulling myself together, I checked the contents of the wicker basket hanging from my arm. Red Riding Hood had lent me this basket to use for grocery shopping, and it was full of ingredients we needed to run the cafe. Now, you may be wondering what I was doing, shopping downtown on my unexpected day off. You see, I had taken over Red's duty as the grocery runner. In other words, I was bored and had nothing better to do. Phew! My arm felt weighed down. Perhaps I'd bought too much. But right as I was about to go straight home without making any detours, a bell started to ring in the distance. Confused, I looked in the direction of the sound and noticed a crowd of people swarming the produce stand. There's a sale on onions! I love onions. Listen up, folks! The limited time sale starts now! It is! It's a sale on onions! I'm so excited. Limited time sale? In spite of my heavy basket, I dashed right over. If there was a sale going on, then I couldn't afford to waste a single second. To the battlefield I go! I'll take one! Me too! No pushing, please! But by the time I arrived, war had already broken out. I pushed my way through the crowd, curious to see what had transformed these ordinary housewives into mighty warriors. There, I found a pile of cardboard boxes with a sign in front that read, "Limited time only, fresh apples, $5 a box." Pardon me, I'll take one. I joined the fight without hesitation. $5 for a whole box of apples? That was so cheap, it was practically criminal. No wonder everyone was losing their minds. Over here, I'll take one, please. However, hey, don't push me. Oh, sorry. A greenhorn like me didn't stand a chance against these battle-hardened veterans. Oh, what's wrong? As I stumbled backwards out of the crowd, a woman called out to me. Oh, it's nothing. But the instant I laid eyes on her, I realized how beautiful she was. Silver hair, pensive eyes. Judging from her subtle charm, I estimated she was somewhere in her 30s. Her makeup was flawless and her face was devoid of wrinkles. Her pastel blue dress afforded her a pristine aesthetic you didn't often see out here in a rural tourist town. "Oh, I see. The apples are really cheap." She spoke in a soft, gentle voice that suited her perfectly as she looked at the crowd. "Yeah, but they're selling out fast." I was really hoping to take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but it wasn't looking likely that I'd get any. Maybe if there was a neat and orderly line, but with a crowd this chaotic, no chance. Right as I was about to cut my losses and get out of there, however, the woman made a surprising suggestion. "In that case, why don't we work together? Surely at least one of us can get a box, and then we can split it 50-50. "You've got yourself a deal!" I agreed without a moment's hesitation. "I'll go back and try to get us one. Sorry, but could you watch my stuff while I'm gone?" "Sure thing." I handed my basket to her, then dove back into the crowd, if she steals my basket. With nothing weighing me down, I was now much more agile than these older ladies. "Excuse me, sir! Over here!" Slipping through the sea of people, I raised both hands and jumped up and down like a rabbit. Eventually, I got the apples! I shot the woman a thumbs up to let her know I had succeeded. "Congrats!" She applauded me as my basket dangled from her arm. Oh, hey, she's being nice. Look, I didn't know. "Here, hold my basket. I'm gonna," and the next thing you know, she stole my groceries, man. "Thank you. I really owe it all to you, ma'am." But she smiled and shook her head. "All I did was hold your stuff for you. The effort was all yours. If anything, I should be thanking you. Are you sure you don't mind me taking half?" "Of course not. If you hadn't given me this idea, neither of us would have gotten any apples at all. Honestly, I appreciate it." "You're such an angel. Thank you very much." "Aw, shucks." I didn't really feel like I'd earned her praise. I mean, it was just a box of apples. But right as we were sharing in the happy moment together, she suddenly looked down at the box. "Wait, so how are we going to carry all these?" Whoops! It was a 20-pound box filled with 35 apples inside. Evidently, neither of us had thought this through. I was going to say, so we went to her house? So we walked all the way to her house with a box of apples instead of like, the cafe I live and work at is right there. Let's go there, and then we can split up the apples, and then I can help you carry yours home. That would have made more sense. Drop my shit off, help her carry her half of the apples. But no, let's go further out of our way, so that now I have to carry half, like, 12 pounds of fucking apples on top of my already other fucking basket full of shit. Okay, whatever. Look, we're not smart. Sorry to barge into your house like this. Oh, it's fine. Don't be shy. I'll make you some of the lovely tea I've got. Oh gosh, you really don't have to. I was originally intending to leave right away, but then she invited me inside. I couldn't leave without my apples, and it was a rare opportunity regardless, so I decided to go with it. Now, you may be wondering where exactly I was and what I was doing there. You see, the woman had suggested that we both carry the box back to her house out in the woods near the residential district. Again, way further out than the cafe in the center of town. Phew! With nothing better to do, I plopped down on the living room sofa and gazed around the room. Did she kidnap us? Is she going to put us in a cage? Because this is weird. I didn't sign up for this. Again. Frankly, this mansion felt rather out of place out here in the sticks. The observation had occurred to me while we were walking across her giant front yard. The interior was extravagantly furnished, like a castle out of a fairy tale. Sorry about the wait. A few minutes later, the woman returned, bringing a delicious scent with her. Sitting on the tray was a floral print teacup and a little pie on a matching plate. Apparently, she had brought me a treat as well. Oh gosh, that's so thoughtful of you, but... I hastily rose to my feet in protest, but she smiled and gestured for me to sit back down. The elegant fragrance of the tea, paired with the sugary smell of the pie, it was heaven. Thank you kindly. Did you make this yourself? I did. It's an apple pie, by the way. I hope you like it, but no worries if you don't. She sat across from me and sighed. Truth be told, she didn't really look all that worried. Oh, I'm sure I'll love it. It looks great. Thank you. And don't be shy now. Bon appetit. Okay, like Snow White, poison apples. I'm just concerned. Okay, I'm just saying. Right you are. Time to put her pie to the test. I scooped up a bite and popped it into my mouth. It's so good. It was delicious, just as I had expected. I don't know why. Okay. No, perhaps even more so. You mean it? Oh, I'm so glad. Absolutely. I could eat this every day of the week. I mean, with the amount of fucking apples she has, you probably would be, if you lived here. I took another bite. Not too sweet, not too overpowering, with just the right amount of tartness. The familiar flavors filled me with a strange sense of peace. Thank you, sweetheart. Next, I took a sip of the tea as a palate cleanser. It was divine. And the tea is wonderful. Is it an apple tea? There's more where that came from, so let me know if you'd like a refill. Will do. As I happily ate my apple pie, the woman looked up suddenly. That reminds me, I didn't get your name now, did I? Oh, what's your name, sweetie? Huh? I blinked in surprise. Come to think of it, I didn't know hers either. Apparently, we were both so distracted with the apples that we forgot to even introduce ourselves. Whoops! Sorry about that! I set down my fork and cleared my throat. Then I sat up straight and looked directly into her eyes. My name is Spacey Arisu, and I live with my brothers in a cafe downtown. She looked at me, her eyes wide. Arisu? Your name is Arisu? My surname, but yeah. I nodded, mildly confused by her reaction. Then for some reason I couldn't fathom, her eyes started to sparkle. Wait. Is she Ryoshi? Is this Ryoshi in drag? Because, you know, their hair kind of is the same color. So the wizard is Ryoshi, is Snow White's mom, all in, like, in drag. Just kidding. I'm like, how does she know us? Like, Snow White didn't, or was she peeping on him? Or is Ryoshi telling her the shit that Snow White is telling him? I'm just saying. That's amazing! I can't believe it! You're serious! It's Arisu! She looked like she had half a mind to leap out of her chair. Yes, ma'am. Oh, that's wonderful! I love it! It's so beautiful! Why, it's just like Alice from the fairy tales! As it turned out, this lady had sort of innocent, childlike qualities. Innocent, childlike quality to her that I hadn't expected based on her looks. Oh, sorry about that. She noticed me staring at her and smiled bashfully, or she's just excited because Alice. Okay. No, it's okay. I took a sip of tea to distract from the secondhand embarrassment. She put both hands on the table and leaned forward, grinning. You know, right from the moment I first saw you, I thought you were as precious as a little doll, like a princess. Thank you. I nearly choked on my tea. Not very princess-like, I know. I bet you'd look right at home in lace and frills. Oh, I know! Want to try on some of my dresses? I bet you'd look magical, Arisu. No, I couldn't possibly ask that of you. Wait, this is starting to get weird. Is she gonna put us in a cage? I did not sign up for this again, I'm saying. I politely declined. I only came here to deliver her half of the apples, and I was already eating her food. Now she wanted to have a dress-up party, too? I mean, I like dressing up, don't get me wrong, but it's a little awkward. You sure? There's no need to be shy now. No, really, I'm quite all right, thank you. I declined more firmly, and she finally relented. Oh, well, that's a shame. Sorry. She looked so disappointed, I couldn't help but apologize. No, I should apologize for putting you on the spot. It's just, I've always wanted a daughter like you. Oh, really? Now I was starting to understand. I just had a stupid son, so I kind of dressed him up like a girl, and everybody thinks he's a girl now, but like... She must have been unwittingly treating me as if I were her daughter. See, I have a child about your age who's actually a lot like you. Oh, I see. A son, though, not a daughter. As I nodded in understanding, I almost skipped over the most important part. Wait, you have a son? An adult son? Yeah, I do. She nodded like it was nothing, but to me this was a huge revelation. Was it her youthful energy that made me think she was younger? Oh, I know! Would you want to meet him? In just a moment, I'll go fetch him! Huh? Wait! But she left the room before I could stop her. She's like, but I have a prince. As I finished my pie, I stared blankly at the door. She seemed like a good person, but she was a little too self-focused. Sort of like Snow White or Red Riding Hood. Of course, being self-focused didn't make you a bad person, per se. After a few moments, I heard voices on the other side of the door. Oh, what is it, Mother? Come with me. We have a very lovely guest here at the house, and I want you to meet her. Wait, I feel like I recognize that voice. Then the door slowly opened, and a handsome face peeked in. A guest? As soon as I laid eyes on him, my jaw dropped, and I stared in shock. Oh. His eyes widened. He had recognized me, too. Prince Charming? I snapped to my senses, pointed at him, and screamed. I'm sorry, it's like, Prince Charming! Prince Charming? Or maybe she said mince harm me. Oh, mince harm me? Or maybe it was lint farming. Lint farming? No! Waving a dismissive hand, I interrupted their conversation. This mishearing gag doesn't even make sense this time. Do you two know each other? No, not at all. My prince cut in before I could answer. I didn't understand why, but apparently he didn't want her to know that we knew each other. Nice to meet you. I'm Spacey Arisu. I decided to play along. Nice to meet you too. The name's Snow White. He responded in kind. Silence. Arisu and I were just having some apple pie. You love my apple pie, don't you? Why don't you join us? Snow's mother spoke cheerfully to clear the awkward tension from the air. More importantly, I didn't know my prince liked apple pie. Now that was useful information to have. But just as I was making a mental note of it, sorry, but I'm not in the mood. And with that chilly declaration, he walked out. Is he mad at me? I'm sorry, sweetheart. My son is very shy, you see. Oh, no, that's okay. I nodded politely. Frankly, I didn't consider him very shy at all, but she was his mother, so maybe she knew him best. Maybe my prince was the shyest of guys. Certainly awkward. Then his mother took my hands in hers. Arisu, yes? Startled, I blinked at her. Then she looked at me intently and said, Arisu, would you be willing to get to know my son? Gladly, ma'am. I beamed in response. No yes or no choice point needed here, thanks. It was everything I ever wanted. It was my lucky break. Oh, gift wrap with a bow on top. I kind of wish they had put would you like to get to know her son? Yes. Just one option. Just for shits and giggles. Just for clicks and giggles. You mean it? Oh, thank goodness. He's always had a lot of trouble making friends. As his mother, I worry about him. But if he had someone as sweet as you there for him, I could put my mind to rest. So if he ever finds himself in trouble, could I ask you to lend a hand, Arisu? Yes, of course, Mother. We exchanged a high five. Feels like this future marriage might just work out after all. Mother smiled to herself for a while, then suddenly looked up in realization. Oh, but now I'm in a pickle. I made this apple pie for him, but he doesn't want it. She looked at the pie on the table and sighed. The way she pressed her hand to her cheek and tilted her head was downright adorable. Then she looked from the pie to me and back. Oh, I know! What if you took it home with you? She grinned from ear to ear as she spoke. Are we supposed to feel slightly uncomfortable, like we don't quite trust her? I don't know, I don't know what it is about, maybe it's just I played too many games where you can't trust people, but she comes across as oh, she's just super worried about her son and she's fine, and oh my god, she's trying to matchmake us, and there's nothing shady at all, but yet there's something about it that I'm just is she being shady? Should I trust her? I don't know. I don't know. We'll probably get to the end and it'll be oh no, she was totally fine. But I'm also Snow White, she's making apple pies. Is she trying to poison him? Is she an evil witch? I don't know. You know what I mean? Should I be concerned? Should I be worried about her? By the time you see this, I'll probably be done with this route. So, like, I don't know. I'm home! By the time I returned home, the cafe was already closed for the day. Where is everyone? Upstairs, I guess? I glanced around the clean and tidy storefront, then headed for the kitchen dining area. They're upstairs because Alice lives here now. I'm just saying, when does Alice show up? Because he's always fucking here a little bit. You know what I mean? There, I set all my stuff down on the table, including the apple pie, and grabbed my apron. Now that I've had my fun, it's time to do some housework. As I excitedly pulled out all my tools, Gretel walked in. Welcome home, sister. Are you feeling better now? Yes, and it's all thanks to you. Glad to hear it. By the way, sister. I smell something sweet. Is this for me? He had spotted the apple pie on the table, and now he was smiling like a giddy little boy. Yes! And he's gonna eat it and die. We poisoned Gretel! I mean, Gretel was gonna get stuffed into, like, a fireplace. Or into an oven and eaten by a witch, so I mean... The pie is for everyone, Gretel. Not just you. I slid the container away from him. Yes, yes, whatever you say. He snatched the pie back. Humming cheerfully, he started to lift the lid. You can't have any yet. I'm just looking. He replied in a sing-song. Oh, I'm just looking. He replied in a sing-song voice, which I can't do in his voice, but I knew him better than that. Ugh. I guess letting him have one bite isn't the end of the world. Oh, tragic. It looks like some amateur made this. The moment he lifted the lid, his excitement fizzled out. I'm surprised you could tell. Inside was an apple pie that looked identical to the one I'd eaten. No surprise there, since it was Snow White's mother's spare pie. I mean, it's obvious. Anyone at my level would be able to tell. No apple pie can possibly compare to the house pie made by Chef Ringo Appleton at the Apple L Hotel. Ringo is apple in Japanese. Ringo Appleton at the Apple Hotel. Appleton. Bravo, game. At this point, I no longer had any idea what he was talking about. I'll have you know this pie was handcrafted by a very pretty lady. I had one myself at lunchtime and it was great. It doesn't matter if the baker was pretty or not. If you made me choose between a lingerie model's sad attempt and a professional product baked by a balding old man with 30 years of experience, I'd pick the old guy. Apparently Chef Ringo Appleton was a balding old man with 30 years of experience. I mean, think about it. These people are amateurs. They don't know anything about sanitation or flavor balance. For all you know, there could be poison in it. See? Okay, Gretel, you and I... Same page, Gretel. Keep talking like that, and I'm not going to let you have any. I pouted my lips. I love my baby brother very much, but I did not approve of him bad-mouthing some lady he'd never even met. Well, fine. If you yourself approved of the taste, then I guess I'll just have to trust you. Theoretically, it's possible the woman who made it was both pretty and talented. Just like that, Gretel changed his tune. You're gonna eat that bite. Okay, I'll eat it. Good grief. You just love to hear yourself talk sometimes, don't you? I'll take that back now, thanks. I snatched the apple pie right out of his hands. Aw, come on. I ignored his whining. Instead, I put the apple pie back into its box and put it in the fridge. Next, I started putting away all the other groceries I brought home. Now then, what should we have for dinner tonight? We got a ton of apples now, so I can make apple pork stir-fry. But then again, I don't want everyone to get sick of apples too quickly. Any requests, Gretel? I turned to find Gretel about to bite into the apple pie. Nom. What the? Hey! Give this kid an inch and he'll take a mile. I reached out, but it was too late. He'd already taken a bite. Ugh. A moment later, he clapped a hand to his mouth and hunched over. What's wrong? As I ran over to him, he spat out the mouthful of pie and looked up at me with tears in his eyes. Sister, this pie is rotten. What? My heart thumped in my chest. That can't be right. I just had one a few hours ago and it was fine. Maybe that's why Snow White doesn't like food, because his mother makes apple pie and or like he's used to her apple pie, which is rotten, and everything else that he tastes weird, and he thinks, see, that's poisoned! She's like seriously fucking with his head, but she wants us to get to know him, and then why would she have given us a rotten pie? That's so weird. I don't know. As I spoke, I peered carefully at the apple pie in its box. It seemed perfectly ordinary on the outside. But when I cut it open to take a look, I found that the apple filling had rotted black. Ew. Gretel dashed to the sink and started gargling tap water. How? I hadn't noticed anything wrong with the one I ate at lunch today. Sure, homemade goods tend to mold quickly, but only during the summer if they're well past their expiration date. How could the apple pie have rotted this fast? Granted, it wasn't fresh out of the oven, but it was winter time in an already cold climate. There was no point in trying to reason with reality. Steeling myself, I grabbed a fork and cut a sliver for myself. Then I brought it up to my nose. Smells normal, at least. Don't do it, sister. Don't do it, sister! Ignoring him, I took the bite. Immediately, an intense bitter flavor exploded in my mouth, and I spat it back out again. I did try to warn you. He handed me a glass of water, and I quickly started gargling it. Thanks. Somehow, Snow White's mother's apple pie had already gone moldy. I remembered the look on her face when she brought it out to me. Her smile was pure and kind, without a trace of malice. See, so I don't know now. Do we trust her? Is she like, does she not know? Does maybe when apple pies leave the house, they get rotten? I don't know. Did she give me an old pie by mistake? Or on purpose? My heart pounded in my chest. Where moments before it was calm and steady, now it was restless, like a stormy lake. Like, is she trying to poison us so that we leave her son alone? Would you want to be friends with my son? Sure, eat this pie and die, bitch. Almost like a forewarning of things to come. See? Okay, even the game's okay, so she's kind of evil. She's got to be evil. There's no way she's, like, nice. I don't know. The mirror, mirror on the wall. Show me what I want to see. Tell me what I want to hear. I feel like we should just stop here early because we always stop on that part. I was gripped with a vague feeling of unrest. It felt like everything around me was starting to change. But it was a gradual change, like a clean house slowly filling with trash. Discomfort quietly piling up like dust. I think it's funny that he lives in what used to be our house. And it all started when she showed up. I opened the living room door to find my mother happily cleaning. You look like you're having fun. She looked over her shoulder at me with a smile, but I already knew what had put her in this good mood. Of course I am, and it was the first time we've had a guest over in quite a while. Indeed, it was rare for us to get any visitors. Not only was our house located in the woods, but the house itself was so empty, people probably didn't realize anyone lived here. But most of all, no one ever interacted with my mother except to try and hurt her. As far as I knew, she had no friends she could trust. He's more like Rapunzel, huh? Like, no, everyone tries to hurt her. Why? So when I found out that she brought someone home with her, I was stunned. Doubly so when I realized who that someone was. Red flags went off in my mind, warning me not to get involved with her. But it was too late now. She was so pretty, wasn't she? Thick, soft hair and those sparkly gemstone eyes. Almost like a princess from a picture book. Mother couldn't stop gushing about her. Granted, I knew her appearance was exactly the sort of thing Mother liked. Born to a family who had spent generations managing an inn, she was raised strictly. Books were her only source of entertainment. Like so many other girls her age, she read dozens of fairy tales and yearned to be a princess. Frills, lace, and ribbons. A big castle, a pretty dress, a happy marriage. And that was her dream. And her name is Spacey. Isn't that wonderful? Doesn't it sort of feel like fate? Yeah. Mother loved the name Alice. It was the name of her favorite fairy tale protagonist. So of course she would take liking to Arisu, the Japanese equivalent. I wish you could have eaten with us instead of hiding in your room. Now I bet you're hungry, aren't you? I'll make you something, so sit tight. I don't need any food today. I'm not hungry. But I was lying. Truth be told, I'd been hungry for a long time now. I just couldn't eat. Why? Because everything in this world was poison to me. No, your mother's food is poison. She's literally trying to control you through this. Is my cooking really that bad? And no, that's not it. I shook my head. She frowned. Oh, God, I read that me. I shook my head. She frowned sadly. And then why? Why? I couldn't stand that word. Every time I heard it, it meant I'd failed her yet again. After a long silence, she looked at the clock. Oh dear, look at the time! It's late! I gotta get to work! She stopped cleaning and pulled me into a hug. See, I wonder if she puts poison or like rotten food so that he eats it. He doesn't say, oh my God, this tastes terrible, because she guilts him. And then he gets sick so that he won't leave. And then she's like, oh my God, everything in the... You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if she's like psychologically abusing him. Like, because she seems so nice, so that seems shady. Like... And then with a soft smile, she repeated her mantra. I have to leave the house now, but I want you to stay here like a good boy. Now listen here, you're not like all the other kids. You're a precious angel. And that's why you mustn't play outside. The world is filled with wicked wolves and you can never trust them. So if one of them talks to you, be sure to ignore them. You have to watch the house while I'm gone, understand? And if anyone knocks on the door, don't let them in, no matter what. Yes, Mother. Good. I'll be back later. And take care, Mother. I exhaled against my chilly fingers. The white fog rose up against the dark sky, vanishing from sight. So much had happened today. I was exhausted, both physically and mentally, but that wasn't going to stop me from coming here. After all, this was my only chance to see my beloved. I could feel someone's presence behind me. There was no need to turn and look. I knew who it was. Good evening, my prince. At long last, my handsome prince was here. Silently, he sat down next to me. Perhaps His Highness was in a bad mood. Okay, now what? Honestly, there was so much I wanted to ask him. But this heavy, oppressive silence wasn't very encouraging. Oh, I know! In times like these... Red! I turned to Red Riding Hood for help, but he looked at me in horror and shook his head. Come on, Red! Honestly, I should have expected this, since Red said he wasn't comfortable around my prince. At this point, I would just have to figure something out myself. You don't have a secret evil twin or anything, do you? First, I decided to find out if the Snow White I met this afternoon was indeed the same Snow White I knew. I didn't actually think he had a twin, but I was open to the possibility that I was wrong. No, I don't. So much for my twin theory. And I don't have a doppelganger either, nor do I have a stunt double. Oh, good. He beat me to the punch. I promise that was me you spoke to back there. What a crazy coincidence! I never imagined I'd get to see you during the daytime. And your mom's so cool. She's really pretty and a total sweetheart. And she's so funny, too. It sounds like we can't trust her. I did my best to keep my tone lighthearted. Yeah. He narrowed his eyes for a moment before looking away. I admired his handsome face in profile, then quietly asked, Are you mad that I came over? Yeah. Ugh. His response pierced my heart. I slumped my shoulders. I'm just kidding. He was kidding? It's not your fault. You had no way of knowing. I looked up and found him smiling faintly at me. How would you describe his smile? Self-deprecating. But his smile seemed self-deprecating somehow. I'm guessing you didn't want me to find out where you lived, huh? The smile faded from his face, and I knew I had guessed correctly. Well, don't worry. I won't tell your mom about our late-night hangouts, I promise. I figured that was what he was worried about. And if so, I was willing to reassure him. I'm not worried about that. I know you're not that kind of person. Then why are you mad at me? I'm not. Liar. I'm not lying. This was possibly the first time he had ever raised his voice at me. Oh. Sorry. It's okay. I'll just go home now. He rose to his feet and turned away. Wait! I tried to stop him, but he never looked back. On our way home, I let out a giant sigh, expelling all the tension from my body. You've had a long day today. So have you. I'm sorry I keep dragging you out here every night. Oh no, I don't really mind it, but... There was a pregnant pause. Are you planning to come back tomorrow night as well? Of course I am. I answered confidently. At this, Red stopped short.
Good birdie. You got your feather stuck to your face. Oh, it's off. Okay, good.
Why are you looking at me like that? I just can't understand what that boy is thinking. You and me both. I grinned stiffly. If I could read his mind, I wouldn't be struggling so much right now. How could you have feelings for him when you don't understand him? I like the mystery of it all. Plus, we're just a sucker for a pretty boy. I mean, her and me both. Snow White's too, lolly boy for me. Normally, but you know what I mean? I like the pretty boys, so... I must say, you're frustratingly optimistic. He let out a sigh. Yeah, I know, but life's more fun that way. I shot him a wink. The way he snubbed you just now, I'm afraid I do not like him. Evidently, my prince had offended Red's sensibilities. He's a real tough customer, I know. He's cold, aloof, and impossible to read. I knew Red cared for me, and I wanted to take his feelings into consideration. He's fickle, he's caustic, and he's willing to hurt people without a shred of hesitation. Well, he's not truly cold-hearted. This time I stood up for Snow White. You're sure of that? Yep. If I had to guess, I'd say he comes off as cold because he's so calm and rational. You think he's rational? Yeah, I think he probably controls his emotions very carefully. Sort of like Kaguya, maybe? You make a good point. It's difficult to get a read on Kaguya since he's perpetually smiling. Right? I laughed. No one can live their life truly devoid of emotion, but at the same time, things won't go well if your emotions are calling all the shots. I figure rational people understand this. They just have the self-discipline to make sure they don't have any wild outbursts. You've been paying close attention, it seems. Well, duh. I'm crazy about him. I cannot pretend to understand it myself, but if that's how you feel, then perhaps you're right. Then something occurred to me. Oh. What is it? You know, come to think of it, you never use any slang, huh? What of it? I've heard my prince say cool and dude and stuff like that. Isn't that fairly common for someone our age? He tilted his head at me in confusion. Yeah, I know, but at first glance, he really does seem like the type to say that stuff, you know? Doesn't seem like the type to say that stuff, you know? He looks so prim and proper. One would think he'd talk more like you, all formal and stuff. Now that I think about it, you do have a point. Dude. Yeah, no, it feels weird when I say it. It does. It does absolutely weird when you say it, Red. I sometimes just like to ad-lib shit in there. There are people who sometimes, because you're multitasking, are like, wait, what? Did he really say that? I like to fuck with you sometimes. it goes unsaid, but it's there. That's the undertone, you know, so. So why do you talk all formally anyway? I don't know what to tell you. This is just how I talk. I guess it just comes naturally? For the most part, each person is in control of their speech patterns. Some people curse, some people use slang, while some people avoid both, or some people use both. Woo! These choices are an expression of who we are. But some words carry a certain nuance to them. For example, no one would bat an eye if a girl said, "Totes adorbs!" But if a guy were to say it, he'd probably get some weird looks. I don't know, could you just imagine, just think of somebody. Pick anybody who you wouldn't think would say that, and then be like, no, that's totes adorbs. I guess it depends. Like, if The Rock said it, you'd be like, he's being funny, that's cute. Okay. And then, like, think of someone else who's like, just total, again, the person you wouldn't expect to say it, and then they say it, you'd be like, I mean, like, if Daisuke Ono said it, I might be like, that's actually probably the sexiest I've ever heard that come out, because I like the sound of his voice. You know what I mean? But, like, if they were like, oh my god, it's totes adorbs. Totes adorbs. I don't know, I could picture a guy saying it, it'd be kind of funny. I get, you know what? That's the kind of man I want, I guess. I want one who's going to be like, no, totes adorbs, yeah. Just say it like, obviously, like, they're goofing around, but, like, totally say it deadpan that just knows that, like, most people would think a guy saying that was odd, but they're just secure enough of themselves that they would totally say it and be like, I don't fucking care. I like it. In other words, there are some social restrictions on the way we express ourselves, and there shouldn't be, that's bullshit. Although it can vary widely on a case-by-case basis, like, oh my god, he's wearing a skirt. Oh my god, that's so gay. It doesn't matter. Look, men should be able to wear skirts and pink. If women can wear pants, why can't men wear skirts? I'm just saying. It's not a skirt, it's a kilt. It's still a fucking type of skirt. And it's okay. You want to wear a fucking skirt that's not a kilt, okay. You can fucking do it. Just do it! Besides, like, guy liner and skirts. It's hot, okay? Totes adorbs. I mean, you know, just what floats my boat is weird as fuck. Plus, there's a gendered element to it. That there shouldn't be. The more I thought about it, the more it felt like my prince's use of slang was a conscious choice to emphasize his masculinity. I thought about how mad he got when I called him adorable, and the way he seemed to hate his own appearance. Oh. Maybe he just really doesn't like being misgendered. I mean, yes. Because he's probably always been told he's pretty, you know, and then you have Red Riding Hood who was like, oh my god, I thought your prince was a dude. And he got so mad. A mirror, mirror on the wall. Show me what I want to see. Tell me what I want to hear. We've got a few more minutes. We probably have enough to finish Snow White's little bit, so we're going to stop after his bit this time. Wow. Wow. I couldn't focus. I was too irritated. Damn it! I flung my book in the direction of the door. What's wrong? It's rare to see you lose your cool. Ryoshi's voice seemed to echo like a hallucination. Huntsman. I look up to find his icy blue eyes narrowed in my direction. Is, like, Ryoshi a figment of his imagination? I mean, he brings books, but it's still, like, weird. Normally I liked his eyes, but right now I didn't want to feel them boring into me. Because his eyes always reminded me of her. I yelled at her. Oh yeah? Now she definitely hates my guts. She thinks I'm an asshole. How did she react? She asked me why I was mad. Were you actually mad at her? I don't know. Well, my life is over. She met my mom and came to my house. Before I knew it, I was venting to Ryoshi. Why? Surely I knew better than anyone that there was no changing the past. What's wrong with that? You wanted her to learn about you eventually, right? Isn't this what you wanted? No, I didn't want her to find out. Be honest. You wouldn't approach her in such a roundabout fashion unless you wanted her to. You're wrong. You've been wanting a princess to come and rescue you, right? I love this, though. Okay. He's a prince, and we're the princess gonna... You know what? That's what I kind of like. It's kind of like... You know, that's why I want... Like, we need to be the one to kick ass and save our boys sometimes. And that's kind of what we're doing. We're gonna go rescue him. I love it. No! Now I had shouted at Ryoshi just like I'd shouted at her. I regretted it a split second later. I don't want anybody to rescue me. I don't care. I'm perfectly happy with the way things are. Honest. Frills, lace, and ribbons. A big castle. A pretty dress. A mother who loved me. A hunter who looked after me. And then there's me, the prince. So what if all of it was fake? The days I spent with my loved ones were calm and peaceful, like a still lake. No pain or misery to be found. But now those same waters were unruly and tempestuous. Well then, why do you care if she hates you? Your life was just fine before she showed up. Remember what that was like? It wasn't that long ago. So just forget about her. He had a point. If I missed my old life, I could go back to it any time by simply avoiding her. But it was too late now. You don't want to, is that it? No, I don't. My former friend smiled sadly. And then I guess you know what you need to do, huh? Yeah. Thanks, Huntsman. Oh, look at that. Perfect place to end. So, like, we didn't end at his part. We ended after it. Oh my god. We're making, like, we're just, like, so good. Gonna be like, we're making progress in our lives. No. I mean, we're making progress in the game, obviously. Every single time we make progress. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up here. So, yeah, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.